Hey everyone, just a quick video where I've got a 65 plate Ford Fiesta and I started having problems with the ignition. The issue basically was you could put your key in, first turn of the key works perfectly, second turn to the point where your ignition lights come on, get that far, and when you go to do the third turn to actually turn the engine over, like key won't turn, it's like rock solid, like you've got the wrong key. I've seen a few videos on people with faulty ignition locks where the keys were stiff and everything and they end up changing the ignition barrel, but that's like hard to turn like right from the moment you put it in. So I was confused thinking, how can it turn perfectly well on the first two notches and then lock up? So after a little bit of research, it turned out people were saying it's the actual ignition switch, which is, this is the old one I've got here, this is what I've took off. So this part is basically here, this is the metal body of the ignition, and this is that air part in here, which to release you've got like two spring loaded tabs, one on the top and one on the bottom. So you have to obviously take your cowling off around there, so it's only 3 screws that hold that on. You got 2 in the top here. When your steering wheel's turned, you got 1 there and 1 the other side, and then the panel that goes on the bottom, which I haven't put back on yet, there's 1 about halfway down in the middle. So if you find yourself with that issue, that is probably what it's gonna be, the ignition switch. So it's been on a couple of days now and it hasn't done it once now, so I'm assuming that is the problem fixed. It was only doing it every now and again, and then I got to the point just before I changed it where it was bad, and sometimes I was having to sit here just continually turning my key on and off to get it to eventually work. So simple enough fix. So you got a little tab on the bottom, 1 on the top. You have to kind of like press them at the same time, or just get 1 and get it to just start to release. Then that whole thing pulls out, and as you can see, you got a black connector in there. So that's your ignition. If that was in the barrel, that would be there. So that black connector block just pushes in there. At the front, there's a little tab you pull down and that pulls out. You have to wiggle it a little bit because obviously it's got contacts in there, so there's a bit of resistance. So it's a very simple fix. That part was £12 on Amazon, and total is about £17 with postage. So tricky one, had me baffled for a little bit, but all seems well now. So apparently transit vans of certain ages and that, all seems to be that ignition has been used for quite a while. So just search your Fiesta model, make sure you get the right component. Right, hope that helps somebody out. Catch you later.